Hey, it's Don Revolver, and this is going to be a little weird because, as you can tell, it's daylight outside. Usually, when I record my videos, it's like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. I don't usually record during the day because a lot more background noise. I live in a town that at night becomes dead silent, aside from trains. But I had to make this video because otherwise I was going to explode. My original intent, I know I haven't uploaded a video in about a month or so, something like that, I think. I had originally intended for my next video to be something on Andrew Tate and his blind stupidity, but at time of recording this, there was recently a mass shooting in Maine, and the response on social media from Republicans has been exactly what you would expect. Shall not be infringed. Republicans are more concerned with parroting their Second Amendment defense than they are about the lives lost during a mass shooting. That should tell you everything you need to know about the situation right out of the gate. And in my comments, talking to people who hold this belief, I have been called a lib, a Democrat. I've been called a communist. I wanna make something abundantly clear right now. I'm not a liberal. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an actual independent centrist. I don't mean one of them dipshit independents who says, "Oh, I'm an independent," but then you look at their social media profile and it's full of MAGA bullshit. Because what that person is a Republican who's too much of a coward to admit they're a Republican, so they say they're an independent, even though they boldly and blatantly support a Republican candidate. See, the way I do things, again, I'm an actual independent and an actual centrist. When it comes to me, I don't care what political party you're with. I care about who is best suited to serve the American people. Who is going to do the best job of making our lives better? I don't give a shit what political party you're part of. I care about the quality of life for the American people under your leadership. That's all I care about. I don't vote along party lines. I vote for whoever's going to do the best job to make our lives better. And in recent history, it has been Democrats. That's why I vote Democrat. Not because I am a Democrat, I'm not. It's because right now they're the ones the most willing to make our lives better, while Republicans want to pass laws that make life harder for us. Republicans pass laws that help the wealthy. Democrats pass laws that help everyone. Like, yeah, they target the rich because they hold a proportional amount of wealth compared to everybody else. They're making a shitload of money, but yet low and middle income families are paying more in taxes than the rich. Republicans wanted to impose a 30% tax on everything. So, for example, if you spent $100, you would pay $30 extra on that. If you spent something, if you spent exactly if you bought something that was exactly $100, you would be paying an extra $30 tax on that. Now, to a rich person, that's not a lot. It's pocket change. But to somebody, who maybe earns $2,000 a month, that is devastating. So, yeah, that's why I'm an independent. And that's why I vote Democrat, because right now they're the ones not trying to skull fuck the American people. The reason I'm a centrist is because I believe both political parties have some good ideas and some dipshit ideas. For example, I am in favor of the death penalty. I think political correctness is absolute horseshit, but at the same time, I'm a supporter of the LGBT community. So, I believe both sides have some good ideas, some bad ideas. They just both need to be able to get the fuck out of their own way to get anything of worth accomplished. So, with that out of the way, my stance on the Second Amendment is different from most people you might hear, because I actually have a plan in mind to deal with this. And it's a simple thing. People aren't going to like it. I don't give a shit. I believe people should be allowed 3 handguns, 2 shotguns, and 2 hunting rifles. That's it. You have a handgun you keep at home for home defense, a shotgun you keep at home for home defense, a hunting rifle you keep at home for home defense, and then one of each you keep in your vehicle, and a handgun you keep on your person for personal protection. I believe you should also be required to undergo training and qualification, where if you don't pass a certain level of accuracy with the firearm, you do not get licensed to use that firearm. I believe gun licenses should work like a driver's license. It should have a photo ID on it, and it should have a list of the firearms you are legally licensed to own and use. I do not believe civilians should be allowed assault weapons. No civilian should ever be allowed an AR-15 or an AK-74, anything like that. However, if you are a former serviceman, like if you are a veteran, then yes, you should have a special veteran's gun license that allows you to buy and own assault weapons. That's how I think it should work. I believe your vehicle should be required to have a sticker on the front and back windshield that states you are a licensed firearm owner and what firearms you are legally licensed to own. I'm a supporter of basically a pickup truck having a gun rack in the window. You have your shotgun and your hunting rifle there. I just believe anyone keeping firearms in their vehicle, those firearms should be in clear view. Now, in order for this type of gun regulation to work, we would have to reform the police a lot, because their first instinct is to start shooting. Now, a police officer's first instinct should be to pull the taser and drop your ass. That should be the first instinct. We should also make tasers that do not in any way resemble guns, so that police officers don't accidentally pull the wrong one and plug you in the chest. Tasers should not look anything like a sidearm. At all. They should not look the same at all. A police officer should be able to tell just by touching the taser that it is a taser. There should not be any heat of the moment, oh fuck, I used the wrong one, that was a sidearm, I just put a slug in that guy's chest. No, tasers and sidearms should look nothing alike. At all. Sorry, my mustache is shedding. Oh yeah. I believe in regulation. I don't like guns. Even if I did like guns, I wouldn't be able to use them. You know, my eyes are sensitive to bright light, my ears are sensitive to loud noises, so I fire a handgun, that's me done. The muzzle flash is going to blind me, the sound of the gunshot is going to deafen me, and I already have tinnitus. So my ears are going to be ringing so loud it feels like there's a bell in my head, and I'm not going to be able to see shit. So me using a firearm, not a good idea. Even if I liked using them, which I don't. I'm one of those people that firmly believes in these. Or, if abso-fucking-lutely necessary, use a weapon, just not a gun. I am very much a close combat-oriented person. But that's neither here nor there. I want to do my best to stay on topic, because I know I get off-road a lot in my videos, especially the ones I made before I wiped the channel and started over. I could get off topic real fucking quick. Ow. So I'm going to try to stay on topic as much as possible here. Because, again, as I stated, Republicans are making this a Second Amendment issue instead of a human lives issue. I don't get that. A lot of these people claim to be Christian. It's like, how can you claim to be part of a religion whose 10 commandments literally include "thou shalt not kill." Because another thing for anyone curious about my religious beliefs, I'm a deist. I believe that some form of higher power exists, but I also believe, as a mortal, it is not my place to say which higher power does or doesn't exist. I don't know. I just believe one does exist. That is the extent of my faith. I believe that there is a higher power of some form. I don't know which one. I don't believe it's our place to say. That's the extent of my religious beliefs. It's very simple, very straightforward, very blunt. Like, is God the true higher power? Could be. I don't know. I won't know for sure until I kick off for good and go to whatever comes next. But yeah, these people are part of a religion whose commandments include "thou shalt not kill," but yet these are the same people who call for violence against those they don't like. And believe me, I'm someone who is very violently inclined, I'm not going to lie. Like, my first instinct when someone pisses me off is to reenact a Looney Tunes cartoon and turn them into Daffy Duck, punch them in the face, and turn their face to the back of their head. That's my first instinct, is just punch them in the face. But I restrain myself because I understand that's not what you're supposed to do. So, yeah, I restrain myself. And I do that because I understand that I shouldn't just punch everyone in the face. Like, I am a defender of the Second Amendment. I want people to understand this. I believe in banning assault weapons. Absolutely. No civilian should have an AR-15, an AK-74, anything like that. I believe people should be allowed to have handguns, shotguns, hunting rifles to defend themselves. If someone tries to come for your right, like, in case any Republicans, conservatives, Second Amendment fanatics, in case any of you are willing to watch this video from beginning to end, I want to make something very clear for you. I do not believe in your right to own an assault weapon. However, if someone actually does come for all of your guns, like you all seem to think the government is eventually going to do, because that's something that Republicans like to say, "Oh, they're coming for your guns." If the government ever actually does try to take away your right to own any firearm, not just an assault weapon, but like your right to own a handgun. If the government comes in and says, "Right, that's it, nobody can own any kind of gun ever at all," I will be right there beside you defending your right to possess a firearm. I absolutely will. I will absolutely defend your right to own a firearm to defend yourself and your loved ones with. I will defend that to my dying breath. But at the same time, you need to understand that there needs to be a line drawn. Like, you want to call me a liberal, you want to call me a communist. I'm neither of those things, but if you want to call me that, sure, fine, whatever. But you need to understand, when your rights are truly violated, I will be there to fight for them. Because, and this does feed into the entire situation, so I'm not getting that off topic, but there are plenty of Republicans who, when someone criticizes this country, they say, "Then leave." No. Why would I leave? I love America. I believe in the potential this country has. I believe this country truly can be the greatest country on earth. I do believe that. It isn't right now, and it never has been, especially for people who are not rich white men. America has historically sucked ass for anyone that wasn't a rich white man. Like, if you have ever been a minority in this country, you know America fucking sucks. But America can be what MAGA thinks it is right now. It can be the greatest country in the world. But we have to be willing to roll up our sleeves and do the work. We have to be willing to admit that there is a problem that has to be solved. If we're not willing to admit there's a fault in the system can never be fixed. And that is my biggest problem with this whole situation. Republicans never want to admit that there's a problem, unless it benefits them politically. If they can use the existence of a problem to increase their political odds or hurt a Democrat, then they'll admit it. But when it serves the American people and only hurts Republicans, they stay silent. For example, I had someone tell me that if it weren't for the Second Amendment, liberals would make child rape legal. Okay, let's discuss that a little bit. Democrats and liberals aren't the ones literally being caught by the dozens victimizing children. I mean, there was a point earlier this year where every single week I was hearing about another Republican or another religious leader getting caught targeting children. And I want to be clear here. I believe in calling out anyone who victimizes children. I don't care what political affiliation you have. Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, whatever your religious belief is, whatever your sexual orientation, whatever your nation of origin is. If you victimize children, you should be called out for that shit and demonized appropriately. But the problem with Republicans is they only want to call that shit out when Democrats get caught. There have been so many Republicans, so many Christians who have been caught targeting children, and Republicans are radio silent about that. Not a peep. Not a single word from them chastising the members of their own party for doing this shit, which makes all of them look bad. Case in point, Republicans defend members of their own party who have been accused of sexual misconduct. When it happens among Democrats and the accusations are legitimate, even before there's been a trial, Democrats are like, get the fuck out. And I'm not saying Democrats are without fault. Like, I firmly believe the way the political party in the United States is at present, we're just dealing with two giant piles of shit. It's just sometimes the Democrat pile of shit doesn't stink. Like, the Republican pile of shit is making us sick. The Democrat one is just gross. Like, it's not a great situation, but it's what we have to work with, so we have to work with it. Unless we want to go under major political reform, and that's never going to happen. Yeah. Now, Republicans never want to admit there's a problem. Be it gun control needing to happen, or calling out members of their own party for targeting children. They refuse to do it. They will not admit there's a problem, and as a result, nothing will ever be fixed, because nobody will admit there's a problem. Like, the Speaker of the House they just elected is an election denier. He's an election denier, he's anti-LGBT, he supports conversion therapy, which, for those of you who don't know what conversion therapy is, here's how it works. You take someone who's gay, and then you torture them until they say they're not gay. That's conversion therapy. You torture someone until they say and do what you want them to. That's conversion therapy. That's what people like Mike Pence and the new Republican Speaker of the House support. They support torturing minors to get them to do what they want. Meanwhile, someone like Matt Gaetz, however the fuck you say his last name, he's been accused of paying underage girls for sex, and not a peep out of the Republicans. Now, This is the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Like, Republicans love to make accusations against Joe Biden. You can watch a clip of anyone, take a screenshot of that out of context and make them look bad. But here's the thing. In order for anyone to make Trump look bad, all we have to do is let him talk. He's the man who openly stated he liked to grab women by the pussy. He admitted that with no prompting. He just said it. It just fell out of his mouth with no urging from anyone. No one tricked him into saying it. He just went, whoa, and spat it out into existence. This is a man who stated bluntly he could murder people and still be supported. Like, go back and listen to things he said during his campaign speech, things he said leading up to the 2016 election. And tell me that Democrats, independents, anyone that's anti-Trump, tell me we have to do anything but let him talk to damage his image. You guys have to Photoshop shit. We just have to let the actual person exist. Like, Republicans were passing around an image of Zelensky, the Ukraine guy, holding a jersey with a swastika on it. Except that image was blatantly photoshopped and the actual image exists, showing him holding a jersey with a number on the back instead of a swastika. But Republicans passed that off as fact instead. Instead of just owning up to the facts and trying to do better. That is why Republicans are failing. That is why they have to use lies, propaganda, and misdirection. That is why, whenever there's a mass shooting, instead of focusing on the victims and trying to figure out a way to prevent more shootings, they just double down on the Second Amendment. Republicans are the party of stagnance, not the party of change. They don't want anything to change. And I know this is going to get me a bunch of hate. I don't give a shit what this gets me labeled as. If you are a minority and you vote Republican, you are a fucking idiot. Especially if you're a black person. Like, you do understand that Republicans openly associate with white supremacists, right? Nazi flags are openly flown at Republican rallies. Nazi flags are sold alongside Trump flags. You are voting for a political party that does not believe you should be a person. They want to go back to the days where rich white men had all the power, women stayed in the kitchen and did what they were fucking told or else, and anyone who wasn't white was considered property and just living machinery on a plantation. So if you are a woman that votes Republican, understand, especially if you hold political office, they don't want you there. They want you at home popping out kids and hanging on their every word and serving them like a servant instead of a partner and equal. But you're going to call me an SJW, you're going to call me a liberal, you're going to call me a communist for saying that. When did speaking the truth become such a bad thing? It just blows my fucking mind. This video, the things I've explained, is why I have no respect for Republicans. I would have so much more respect for them if they would just own up when they fuck up. Just like, yeah, I shared some information. I thought it was accurate. Turns out it was photoshopped. I fucked up. That's on me. My bad. I would have so much more respect for Republicans if they did that. But they can't and they won't. I need to cut this video short because we're already headed towards 25 minutes. So, I've been timed Revolver, and you'll see my ugly mug whenever the fuck I get around to recording another video. Until then, see you later.